astrology is several thousand years old. I mean, to me, one of our jobs is to keep it evolving and moving forward and keep testing ideas and make sure that, Uranus, Aquarius rules astrology. So, I mean, we need to keep that evolving. I run across a lot of ideology where they just want to keep it stuck or back into the old ideas and concepts without developing it any. And I mean, so to me, the predicting earthquakes, tsunamis, other things, or, earth changes and things is one of the most relevant and helpful things we can do to keep evolving astrology. And also I've seen a few comments where someone like you will say has made some predictions and people get upset and say, oh, so you want this to happen or what? And it's like, it startles me that some people are able to not look past their personal preferences or how they would like things to turn out, and they just try to bend things to what their preconceived idea is. And I think this election has been a great example of this because it's not gone at all as how I expected. But I think you're one of the few people that's had your finger really on the pulse of what's been happening and not been blinded by their preconceptions. So kudos to you on that one.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And, I'll tell you something. One of the things I teach my students is we need to be nonpartisan and independent in our thinking and our viewpoints. Let the testimonies speak for themselves. If we're weighing them properly and we're being as objective as we can, and it's very difficult to do that, but if we do that, we're going to be about within the 80 percentile of accuracy. We're not always going to be right, and nobody is. Just keep in mind that the greatest stock market trader, all right, Bill Gross, he's one of the best bond traders in the world. He's only right 53% of the time. You only need to be right 53% of the time in order to make billions of dollars in the stock market. All right, to have it all and to have your cake and eat it too on Wall Street. And 53% is a landslide in politics. So the expectation of astrologers out there is like, once it's like 99.9999%, this doesn't work. You can be 80%, nope, still doesn't cut it. Ups doesn't, So I'm telling people here, and my students, stick with the astrology. If you want to make an argument or a speculation that a certain thing will manifest in such a way, you need to prove it out with me. You need to show me multiple testimonies, multiple techniques. You can't just say one thing, and you have to layer it and build it up. You have to think vertically here, or actually horizontally. You can't just say one testimony, one chart, one transit approach does all, says all, is all. And that's basically what we've been fed. At least I know I've been fed for the past 20 years. And, it's, the only reason I've been more on pulse with the election is because I've been just looking the mundane portents. And I've known, and this is something Theodore White and I discussed back this time last year, we knew it was going to be a establishment candidate backed by the American oligarchical elite, that would be George Bush or Hillary Clinton, versus a populist candidate. So we eliminated very early on that George Bush would be the nominee. And we also eliminated early on that Bernie would be the nominee. So we knew it was going to be Hillary versus a Uranus-Pluto dark horse candidate that was going to turn everything upside down, inside out, destroy the body politic of the nation. All right? And that's why we came to I certainly came to the conclusion first, and then Theodore followed up shortly thereafter, and we came to the conclusion it's going to be Trump. And Trump is the beginning of the first phase, or a category 1 social revolution. This is not just another election like 99% of the astrologers, and I'm going to keep saying that. I know that upsets a lot of people, but 99% of the astrologers kept framing it as another like a Bush Gore election 2000, except on steroids. No. This is not just another election. We're seeing social revolution. Just the fact of what had to happen in order for Trump to be the nominee. The fact that Hillary Clinton technically lost that campaign and still a nominee has completely medically collapsed and been and wasn't disqualified after she was medically diagnosed with pneumonia. It's just startling. So we are seeing the populists, the rise of the populists or the nationalists versus the establishment and the oligarchy. This is a collision, a titanic collision of an unmovable object with a unstoppable force, right? And they're colliding here. And this is just the beginning of things to come, folks.